Picture this for a second. You're sitting at a red light. To your left, there's a guy in a brand new charcoal gray Audi. He's wearing a fitted suit, he's got the latest iPhone mounted on the dash, and he looks like he's got it all figured out. He's making $150,000 a year. Easy. Then, to your right, there's someone in a 10-year-old Honda Civic. The paint is chipping a little on the bumper. They're wearing a hoodie and they're sipping coffee from a travel mug they brought from home. They make $60,000 a year. If I asked you who is richer, your brain, and honestly society immediately points to the guy in the Audi. Obviously, right? He has the high income, he has the stuff, he has the status. But what if I told you that statistically and mathematically, the person in the Honda is likely on a faster track to becoming a millionaire than the guy in the Audi? It sounds completely backward. It feels like it defies the laws of logic. But there is a massive, invisible gap between making money and having money, and most people spend their entire lives falling into that chasm. My name is Zara, and I've spent years obsessing over the psychology of wealth, trying to figure out why high earners often end up broke while modest earners quietly build empires. And what I've found is that wealth isn't about the size of the shovel you use to dig for gold. It's about how big the hole in your bucket is. Today, we aren't just doing math. We're going to dismantle the high-income trap that keeps smart, successful people living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm going to show you exactly how a $60K salary can beat a $150K salary if you know the rules of the game. Let's be real for a moment. We are conditioned to believe that the solution to every single financial problem we have is more income. If you're stressed about rent, you think, I need a raise. If you're worried about retirement, you think, I need a side hustle. We chase that higher number on the offer letter like it's the holy grail. And don't get me wrong, earning more is great. I'm all for maximizing your value, but income is just ink on a paycheck stub. Wealth is what you keep, and those are two very, very different things. To understand this, we have to look at two distinct characters. Let's call them Jason and Maya. Jason is our high flyer. He just landed a role as a senior project manager making $150,000 a year. That is a lot of money. That is the kind of money where your parents brag about you to their friends. But here is what happens the moment Jason signs that offer letter. Before the first direct deposit even hits his account, his brain starts spending it. He thinks, I'm a six-figure earner now. I can't live in this studio apartment anymore. So he upgrades to a luxury 2-bedroom downtown because it's closer to the office and, well, he deserves it. Rent goes from $1,500 to $3,200. Then he looks at his car. He can't pull up to his corporate job in a beater. He needs something reliable, something professional. So he leases that Audi we saw earlier. That's $700 a month, plus another $200 for insurance. Then there's the wardrobe upgrade, the happy hours with colleagues, because networking is expensive, and the convenience costs. When you make $150K, you feel too busy to cook, so you order Uber Eats. You feel too busy to clean, so you hire a service. This is what we call lifestyle creep, or if you want to get fancy with the economics terms, it's Parkinson's law: work expands to fill the time available, or in this case, expenses expand to equal the income available. Jason's lifestyle inflates instantly to match his new salary. He feels rich, but his bank account is essentially a pass-through entity. Money comes in, and money immediately goes out to service the lifestyle he thinks he's supposed to have. Now, let's look at Maya. Maya is a graphic designer making $60,000. It's a respectable salary, but nobody is throwing her a parade. She drives a paid-off car. She shares an apartment or lives in a modest spot for $1,200 a month. She cooks at home because she actually enjoys it, and she shops at Trader Joe's instead of Whole Foods. Maya knows she doesn't have a massive shovel, so she is hyper-aware of her bucket. She automates 20% of her income into investments immediately because she knows she can't rely on a massive windfall later. Here is where the math gets absolutely wild, and it sets something almost nobody talks about because it sets not sexy. It sets the impact of taxes and the efficiency of income. When Jason makes $150,000, he doesn't take home $150,000. Depending on where he lives, after federal taxes, state taxes, FICA, and benefits, his take-home pay might be closer to $100,000 or $105,000. He is in a higher tax bracket. The government takes a bigger bite of every extra dollar he earns, but his lifestyle, that $3,200 rent, the car, the dining out, is paid for with asterisk after-tax asterisk dollars. Because Jason has inflated his fixed costs, the stuff he asterisk has asterisk to pay every month just to exist, he might be spending $8,000 a month just to keep the lights on and the image up. That's $96,000 a year. If he takes home $105,000 and spends $96,000, he is saving $9,000 a year. That is a savings rate of roughly 6% to 8%. Maya, on the other hand, makes $60,000. Her tax burden is significantly lower. She might take home $48,000. But because she kept her expenses low, let's say she lives on $35,000 a year, she has a surplus of $13,000. Do you see what just happened? Maya, earning less than half of what Jason earns, is actually saving asterisk more asterisk cash significantly every single year. She is technically wealthier in terms of annual accumulation than the guy making six figures. But it gets deeper than just the math. It's stat psychology of the golden handcuffs. See, Jason is now trapped. This is the dark side of high income that no one warns you about. Because his lifestyle costs $8,000 a month, he asterisk needs asterisk that $150K job. He cannot quit. He cannot take a sabbatical. He cannot pivot to a lower-paying career that might make him happier. He is a slave to his overhead. The high salary acts as a mask for financial insecurity. He is terrified of losing his job because he is 3 months away from ruin, despite looking like a millionaire. Maya, she needs $3,000 a month to live. She has FU money. If her boss is toxic, she can leave. She can survive on a part-time job if she needs to. Her low burn rate gives her the ultimate asset, freedom. And freedom allows you to make better long-term decisions. You don't make desperate financial moves when you aren't desperate. And honestly, this is where the concept of status destroys us. We are social creatures. We are hardwired to care what the tribe thinks of us. In the modern world, the tribe judges us by our consumption. If you get a big promotion and you don't upgrade your car, people ask if everything is okay. There is immense social pressure to display your income. I remember talking to a client once, let's call him David, who was a lawyer. He told me, "Zara, I can't drive a Honda to meet a client. They won't think I'm a good lawyer." And I asked him, "Do you think they hired you for your car or for your brain?" It was a tough conversation. But the truth is, most of us are buying things we don't need, with money we don't have, to impress people we don't even like. The $150K trap is really an ego trap. It's the belief that I work hard, so I deserve this, and you deserve to be happy. You do deserve comfort. But does a $700 car lease actually bring you happiness? Or does it just give you a 30-second dopamine hit, followed by 36 months of stress? The hedonic treadmill is a real thing. It's the observed tendency of humans to quickly return to a relatively stable level of happiness despite major positive or negative events or life changes. You get the raise, you buy the nice couch, and for 2 weeks, you love the couch. Then, it's just a thing you sit on, but the bill for the couch lasts for months. You have to run faster and faster on the treadmill just to stay in the same place emotionally. So, how does the $60K earner actually win in the long run? It's thus through the magic of the wealth gap. The wealth gap is simply the difference between your income and your expenses. That's it. That is the whole game. It's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep. If Maya invests that $13,000 surplus every year into a simple S&P 500 index fund returning an average of 8% in 30 years, she will have over $1.5 million. And remember, she is used to living on $35,000 a year. So $1.5 million is an absolute fortune to her. She is financially independent. She can retire early. She owns her time. Jason, saving his $9,000 a year if he's lucky, will have about $1 million in 30 years. But here is the kicker. Jason is used to living on $100,000 a year. That $1 million nest egg, it will run out in less than 10 years. He will have to work until he is 75 just to maintain his lifestyle. The person earning $60K ends up with more freedom, more security, and a more sustainable life than the person earning $150K. That is the power of high savings rates over high income. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Zara, this is great. But are you saying I shouldn't try to earn more money? Should I just settle for $60K forever? Absolutely not. The goal isn't to stay at a low income. The goal is to act like Maya while earning like Jason. That is the ultimate cheat code. This is what we call the wealthy saver. Imagine if you could earn Jason's $150,000 salary but keep Maya's $60,000 lifestyle. Imagine if you didn't upgrade the apartment immediately. Imagine if you kept driving the Honda. Suddenly, instead of saving $9,000 a year, you're saving $50,000 or $60,000 a year. Now, we aren't talking about retiring in 30 years. We are talking about retiring in 10 or 15 years. We are talking about generational wealth. But you can't get there if you don't master the psychology first. If you can't manage $60,000, you definitely cannot manage $150,000. Money acts like a magnifying glass. It just makes you more of who you already are. If you are a spender at $50K, you will be a spender at $500K. You'll just have nicer toys and bigger debt. So, how do we actually fix this? How do we avoid the trap? I have 3 specific steps for you, regardless of what your paycheck says right now. Step 1 is to define your enough. This is a concept I love. Most of us have no finish line. We just want more. But more is a moving target that moves away from you every time you take a step. You need to sit down and ask yourself, what actually makes me happy? Is it travel? Is it time with my kids? Is it gardening? If you know that spending time with your friends makes you happy, budget for that. But cut the stuff that doesn't. You don't need the luxury car if you don't care about cars. You don't need the massive house if you hate cleaning. Define your enough so you can stop spending money on things that society tells you to want and focus on what you actually want. Step 2 is to hide the raise. This is the most practical advice I can give you. The next time you get a promotion, a bonus, or a tax refund, pretend it didn't happen. Do not let that money hit your checking account. If you get a $10,000 raise, go into your HR portal and immediately increase your 401k contribution or set up an auto transfer to a separate brokerage account for that exact amount. If you never see the money, you can't spend it. You will naturally adjust your life to live on the remainder. You force yourself to maintain your current standard of living while your savings rate skyrockets. This prevents lifestyle creep before it even starts. It's about removing the willpower from the equation. Willpower is a finite resource. Automation is forever. Step 3 is to stop playing the status game. This is the hardest one, because it's emotional. You have to make a conscious decision to opt out of the competition. When you see your friend posting about their trip to the Maldives or showing off their new Tesla, you have to train your brain to say, good for them, without thinking, what's wrong with me? Realize that wealth is what you asterisk Don Ted asterisk see. Wealth is the nice cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought. The first class upgrades declined. Wealth is quiet. Rich is loud. Once you understand that, the guy in the Audi doesn't look so impressive anymore. In fact, you start to look at him and wonder, I wonder what his monthly payments are. You start to feel compassion for the stress he's likely under, rather than envy for the image he's projecting. There is a peace that comes with living below your means that a high salary alone can never buy. It's the peace of knowing that if the world falls apart tomorrow, you're okay. It's the peace of not being owned by your bank. So, the next time you feel bad about your salary, or you feel like you're falling behind because you aren't pulling in six figures yet, remember the math. Remember Maya. It is not about the income. It is about the gap. You have the power to build incredible wealth right where you are, simply by deciding that your freedom is more important than your image. If you're ready to stop acting rich and start getting wealthy, you're in the right place. Keep climbing, and I'll talk to you soon.